Hello there, my crypto big brothers and sisters. How in the world are you today? And over here is Papa Ron. What's happening, Papa Ron?
Just going crazy.
Tell me about it. It's been great. It's been up and down, up and down.
It's been an eventful day for me, but it's been good.
Yeah, I imagine it has been eventful for you. Talking before we got on, you tell me all the money you're making.
All 86 cents.
oh, I thought it was 87.
But what's been interesting, folks, is the last 2 or 3 days, honestly, my phone and email, it's not been off the hook, but it's been crazy how many people have remembered I've mentioned something about Bitcoin and now they're calling me about it. It's crazy. And you run into that too at work and stuff, Rod.
I do.
Matter of fact, my daughter and her son, her husband, her boyfriend, I call him, but they're married, but they both said today that around their offices, all that is discussed, and they have one, my daughter said they got a huge TV, and all they do is they keep the Bitcoin price rolling on that thing. Said it's the biggest topic in both their offices is crypto right now.
That's the buzzword, huh? Crypto.
Yeah. And Jordan, he's so funny. He's always texting and calling me. He says, yeah, so-and-so wants to know what my father-in-law is thinking we should do right now. like I'm the expert. That's the funniest thing I ever heard. Anyway. Well, let's check this out, folks, because Cryptoville is getting loonier every day.
Every day.
Of course, it's taming down now, but today it was on fire, and I think most of you know that. Bitcoin was up to 17.6 or something today.
6, I think it was, yep.
And even Ethereum, and I think Ethereum was up close to 7, Rod. Yeah. Oh, you want to know the crazy one?
Which one?
Look at this. Dash was up to $1,000 today. When they went to 390, you and I were talking about, oh my heck, who's going to buy Dash at 390? And and they hit almost $1,000 today. Do you remember that? Isn't that crazy?
You know, I think if you invest in any cryptocurrency today, it don't matter what it is, you'll make money the way it's going.
I think they're saying the top 10 easily. Yeah, they're on fire. Litecoin, that was up to. Well, I want to say Litecoin. I had heard somewhere on YouTube or somewhere they said Litecoin was 400 on Coinbase today. And I don't think it got up that high on this market. Of course, these are averages, you know.
Yeah, they're averages.
337, 339. But look at the volume, Rod.
I know.
Just the last day. I mean, it's huge. And you talk about volume. Look at the total market cap. It was over 500 billion today. Folks, that's a $500 billion.
And it's all taking place this year. That's a funny thing.
The last 2 or 3 months.
I know.
But
that's
see,
unbelievable.
Look at, this is a 1 month chart. 1 month chart, folks. But look at the volume too. This is the total market cap. I mean, there is new money coming into this.
All the time.
Yeah. It's really been something.
It's been great.
Well, and is it great, Rod? I mean, I think it's great for our positions, I know. But you wonder if it's really healthy for the industry, and is it? And I still believe a lot of these coins are undervalued. Just like Litecoin, it's finally saying, "Hey, it's my time to shine, and I am worth more than $100 that I've been sitting at." And it's
more like 40 for a long time.
Yeah, it was long time.
Yeah.
I bought a good chunk of my Litecoin at $26, and back then I had a few people saying, "You're out of your mind."
Yeah. I bought mine at $38. I remember buying mine at $38 right after you told me about it. and I bought it, and then after that it just kind of stayed between 38 and 40 for months.
Yeah, but we had the faith that there'll be an application for it, and it looks like it might be coming about. And some of that application might be simply, Rod, that when people, they're still having tons of people sign up. Matter of fact, well, that's another story, but 50 to 100,000 people a day, they say, are signing up for accounts on Coinbase.
Yeah.
And so they get on there and they see Bitcoin at 17,500 and they see Litecoin at 160,200. And I say, I'm going to dump some money into Litecoin. I think that's going on. Some people's perspective of, they want to own whole coins, not a sliver of Bitcoin maybe.
Yeah.
That might be part of why the...
It doesn't bother me to hold a sliver of Bitcoin because them slivers go up.
Yeah, you're exactly right on that. Yeah. So anyway, back to the question we just posed. Is it not healthy necessarily, but I think it's good too. I think we're still in a true free market, supply and demand, excitability. Even if people are just speculating on it, it brings people into the industry. And they're spending their money.
Yeah, kind of like we were talking about before we got on the air. It's like a feeding frenzy right now. Everybody wants to get in. I mean, like you said, people are calling you about it because they want to get in on it. $17,000 of Bitcoin, or make a 6,000% increase in Litecoin. In a year. Everybody. So it's kind of like and in some respects, it's really good because we need, not we, and meaning just you and I, but the whole cryptocurrency, we need that fresh money coming in. We need it to come in to make everything go up. But then again, it's kind of scary on another hand,
Well, like you just mentioned, in a roundabout way, it brings awareness. Now all the news channels are talking about it. And that's where these people are finally hearing about it. In the newspaper, someone is saying, "Gal, I remember hearing something about this." But the awareness and the adoption, it becoming mainstream and credible is out there. And I think people investigate it. Well, I'm not sure they investigate it. Let's look at folks, we got a few headlines. We're not going to go through it. Well, we got a few, but it just kind of talks about this feeding frenzy Rod just mentioned. Here's one. Millions of individual Asian investors are reportedly driving into Bitcoin rise. They're causing it. They're the ones driving the rise in it. This
article, it's individuals. It's kind of like you and I,
Yeah, it's not so much
Joe Schmo, like you put it all the time.
Yeah, it's not so much these big industrial finance companies and people and they're in it, I'm sure, in roundabout way. But this article even says that Japan, South Korea, and Vietnam were responsible for almost 80% of the trading activity worldwide by the end of November.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, and the article goes through and it talks about, and look at this here. The largest cryptocurrency exchange at one point quoted the price at almost $25,000 in South Korea.
And they only got a population of 51 million, it says.
Yeah. I mean, 1/6 of the U.S., but yet they're dominating. And there was a couple testimonies in here, or people making comments, and they were saying that, one lady, just like you said, Rod, one lady said, "Gal, I heard my friend talk about it, and she's quadrupled her money, so I just wanted to get in." So
I don't care what it was, I just wanted to get in.
And that's a little bit of the cautionary thing that I would like to stress tonight, and it's people don't investigate it. Just like my buddy called me today, and he says, "Just tell me how to open a wallet, I'm ready to drop some money in this." It's the frenzy of it, and it's all right, I guess. I mean, I can't blame these guys that want to mortgage their house or hawk up a Visa card because they probably know they can turn it 4 times in the next month or two.
Hey, all the big guys that know stuff are always telling us by the end of next year it's going to be, what, $100,000? Coin
Bitcoin.
for Bitcoin?
Yeah, those speculative. Yeah, they estimated between 50 and 100, and yeah, it's up there.
Unbelievable.
So, like I say, you can't. A buddy of mine calls me, and I say, yeah, I've 10 times my money. Well, yeah, he wants to get in on that.
Yeah.
Sure. So,
and even at 17,000 or 16,500, if it turns by the end of next year to 100 grand, God, how many times is that? 20 times? God dang, man, that's a lot of. What bank can you put that money in and get that much out of it?
You can't. And that's what's so exciting about this. The small guy like us, it's just your guys that are working. They've been slaves their whole life, paying taxes and mortgage payments and insurance and all that. And here's an opportunity to maybe break ahead a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want to do it, and I can't blame them.
I can't either, Ron. I just really can't blame them.
Okay,
but like we've always said in the whole, in all of our videos, if you better be willing to lose what you put in, because it can be very well lost.
That's exactly right. And Rod, you and I even got into this on speculative terms and ideas. We wanted to make some money too. Yep. But let's also point that out that the whole purpose of this blockchain and Bitcoin was to decentralize our financial system, kind of to bring it back into our own control as citizens. So yeah, the bankers and the governments, they're going to harp on this and regulate it and try to tear it down because they don't want us to be self-sufficient on this stuff. And so the true nature of it, I mean, that's what we're rooting for, honestly. It's a true fair market and doing what we want.
We talk about the people in the United States making good money on it, but look at all the people that have become millionaires over in Asia and South Korea and Japan and Vietnam. Those places there, they've made damn good money too. It's for all of us worldwide. The poor guy that lives in a peasant farm, if he can afford 20 yen, go over here and buy some and make $100,000 on it. Why not?
Well, I know. Let me tell you a story about one of my sons.
Okay, tell me.
He went to his boss and didn't borrow. He says, listen, this thing's taken off, this crypto. Give me 10 grand. Let me put it in till the end of March. And I think this was 6 weeks ago. He said, I'll pay you 20% of anything I increase that 10 grand on. So the guy gave him 10,000. My son put it into Bitcoin 6 weeks ago. So and he had it. He had the deal said I can keep it till the end of March. Well, today he cashed out of that. He paid the guy back 14 grand. So the guy made 4,000 in 6 weeks. And my son has 15 grand in his pocket. Well,
so he bought a Bitcoin, a whole coin.
Yeah, my son got a Bitcoin for using that guy's money. Actually, he didn't put it in his pocket. His Bitcoin is still working for him, but he got the debt gone and the investor. And this is what's so exciting about these kind of increases. It's crazy. Back to this article we just had here, and this is something we just talked about. Some Bitcoin investors are mortgaging their homes to buy more digital currency and hawking up Visa cards and everything else. So we kind of covered that a little bit.
We always say caution to that.
Well, yeah, and it goes back to what you just said, Rod. If you're gambling like this, if you're rolling the dice, baby, and it goes south, you're gonna be sucking hind end. You're gonna pay the price.
Yeah.
But our opinions on that right now, is it a bubble? Man, I don't think so. I think there's still so many people getting into this and spending money that we might see this, not this kind of growth, but I think we're going to definitely see growth over the next couple years on this stuff.
Yeah.
Don't you, Rod? Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I do too.
Yeah. It's still it's still not at the top of its ephesus, you know.
It's in its infancy.
It is. It is. We only got like what, 2.5, maybe 2% of the population in on it. How many billions is that? Once the majority of them get in, it's going to rock and roll. Bitcoin to $1 million. That's Kramer saying.
Well, this Kramer guy, he's been downplaying this stuff the whole time too. Of course, he's a part of the club. And I don't even remember why I had this article in here. I didn't watch the video, but I think the comment about Bitcoin people never sell it. And when you have the coin that's fluctuating this much and being so volatile, you know, yeah, we're putting it in to secure wealth.
Yes.
If it's still going up and it's decentralized,
why sell it?
At this point, yeah. I mean, golly, if you can make another 20% by hanging it on for another month, and chances are it's more like 50 or 100%. I mean, yeah, you're going to hang on to it.
You bet you are.
Sure.
And why not hang on until you need it? Especially if you're in your 40s or something and you're getting in on this stuff, or 30s or 20s. Man, you'd want to hang on to it to the very end. I would. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Let's give a couple things here on the side of caution, Rod. I'm gonna.
Don't hold anything more than 5% in a stock, or if you understand it, go to.
I don't like it when those things start.
Retail defensive investors who are not full time into investing should not really be worried about portfolio sizing.
Caution or what?
So, can you hear me? Can you hear that noise?
To have equal weightage to different kind of stocks. So if you want to have 15.
Let me just show this headline real quick. We'll get off of it.
15 to 20 is the maximum.
Bitcoin scales another fresh peak, likely to hit 20,000 mark soon.
Per stock in your portfolio. That's one way of looking at it. More easier way.
I think it's this article.
We said that we would be hitting 10,000 by the end of this year. You know, and guess what? We're going to be hitting 20 at the end of the year. We're going to be 10,000 short.
Yeah, they're just saying because of the projection it's on and what it's been doing that they see it easily hitting that. You know. Not maybe this year, but soon. It's going to breach that. I remember when they were trying to breach the $10,000 mark and how that seemed like such a hurdle to get over. But then once it did, it kept going too. And I think this 20,000 is another type of hurdle to get over. Now we go to Charlie Lee. A little bit of caution here. And Charlie Lee, you know, like I said, Litecoin has been going nuts today. And he sent out a little tweet or text or something. Okay, sorry to spoil the party, but I needed to rein in the excitement a bit. Buying Litecoin is extremely risky. I expect us to have a multi-year bear market like the one we just had where Litecoin dropped 90% in value from 48 to 4. So if you can't handle Litecoin dropping to $20, don't buy it. Now I don't know what his expertise is in. Of course, he's the creator of Litecoin. He worked at Coinbase, Rod, for a lot of years.
Yeah.
And got out of that, and he saw some of the things he wanted to correct within Bitcoin, and he's done an excellent job. I mean, Litecoin is something else, but he kind of thinks that it might go back into a bear market, but God, the people that really, like you mentioned earlier, that know trades and how this whole thing works, I don't know.
He just don't want anybody mad at him. You know, but the problem is he said the same thing, way back when? About 6 months ago he said this stuff and said some shit. I don't know what he said. All I remember, I know my back of my hair was sticking straight up. I was pissed at him.
We had a video on it, and we got a lot of flack on our opposition against Charlie Lee at that time. But I remember it.
You know, that guy's a dork. He may be smart as a whip when it comes to.
And he might be filthy rich too.
Well, you know he is.
Yeah.
So that's why he tell everybody quit buying it. Yeah, I got all mine. I don't need yours. So basically, that's what he told us anyway.
But it's good that we bring caution back into this whole Looney Tunes scenario because, and here's kind of the, this is kind of what we want to end up on here, folks. And we're going to put this article in the description box. This is a great article. It's kind of lengthy. Are the banksters making their move against cryptocurrencies now? And he kind of references in here that the spike in Bitcoin follows a series. Anyway, he goes through and he kind of says that this spike up in price could be very deliberate, and that once it gets to a certain point and we get all these people invested in it through maybe these future contracts and stuff, they're going to crash the price. Everybody's going to be hurting. Everybody's going to be calling for regulation to save us from our own selves. You know, no, we don't want true free markets. We want you to tell us what's proper and regulate all these evil companies that take our money. Even though people are dumping into this with no due diligence, no research, they just say, I want to get in.
Yeah.
So this guy's saying, you know, this isn't the opposite of what maybe is going on. He's got a good perspective here. It's worth looking at. But he's saying that the government might be controlling this a little bit to get us all in hock. They're going to crash it. They're going to regulate it, and then maybe turn it into a cashless system for all of us citizens throughout the world. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I haven't finished reading the whole article. I just kind of came across this before we got on, Rod, and I read about a third of it. But I'm going to finish reading it. He's got some good points in there. So, folk, I guess even though Crypto Town is turned into Looneyville, or the opposite there, write it while it's good. I mean, and don't be afraid to take some profits out. If you've got 4,000 invested and this thing jumps up to 15 or 20, why not pull your four back out? Yeah, that's great, Rod.
That way you won't lose any money that way.
Then you got no skin in the game. Whatever happens, happens. You know,
that's right.
Of course, when it's growing that fast, you almost want to keep it working.
It's hard to get it out.
I know, but that might be the sensible
bite the bullet and
thing
pull it
to
out.
do. That's right. I agree. You got to take.
Then once it goes up to another 15,000, then pull another 4,000 or 5,000 out. You know, just let that ride.
You got to take those profits along the way.
Yes,
and that's how you can benefit yourself financially, either getting rid of debt or getting that long new car that you felt you needed, or whatever it is.
Exactly.
But as long as you keep leaving it in there to build to infinity, and this crash comes, I mean, God, anyway, it just makes sense.
Yes, it does.
We've
always said that.
Yep, and we are excited to death about what's going on in this crypto world. It's fun and exciting, and you just want to.
Makes your blood run good.
You just want to share it with people too.
39.
Folks, best to you in your investing. We hope your guys are cashing in on this where you can and financially can afford to. And like Rod said, the top 10, man, almost any of those are going to do something. But we feel safe ones are Bitcoin, Litecoin. And I had my doubts a little bit about Ethereum, where that's going to go. But, man, it jumped pretty good today too, Rod, because they're having such complications. You know, they got that new little kiddies game. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, you told me about it.
The Asians are into it. It's some kind of game you play on this platform, and the platform is on the back of the Ethereum blockchain. But so many people are playing this thing that the Ethereum blockchain is slowed down. It can't keep up. So it even needs to scale itself. It needs to say, hey, we got to correct this, because you take that blockchain we just talked about, that Tangle from IOTA, hey, they would scream at this stuff, meaning they can handle all these kiddie games you can throw at it. The more stuff you have on there, they claim the faster their system gets, that Tangle ledger system. Anyway, sorry, I'm just rambling now. I'll let you guys go.
Yeah, we appreciate you very much. Be sure and give us a thumbs up like always, I should be putting the thumbs up at the beginning of the show, but I keep forgetting because I get so excited. When Ron and I get together, we just have to talk about this stuff. So I forget to say thumbs up. Thumbs up for us. We appreciate it.
It ain't excitement, Rod. It's that word I used last night.
What's that?
Senile.
Okay.